Let's talk today briefly about the food security crisis in Africa. Why is there so much hunger in Africa? Yet we have so much land, so much resources to even feed the world. Why is there so much hunger? To answer that question, we may need to look at how agriculture is developed in Africa, what other countries are doing right, and what we may not be doing the right way. Agriculture remains one of the sought-out topics that most development analysts would like to talk about, especially when it comes to Africa. The question is this: why will a region with so much fertile soil still suffer from hunger and poverty? To answer that question, first let us look at some of the top countries that have developed their agricultural sectors and what they did differently. Let's start with a country like China. 50% of China's workforce depend on agriculture. China cultivates 55% of their land mass, and this contributes to more than 12% of their total economy. Next is India. India's agriculture contributes about 18% to its GDP, with over 55% of their households depending solely on agriculture as a source of income. Now, it will surprise you to know some of the products that India exports and makes billions and billions of dollars. India exports spices, spice products, and between 2020 and 2021, India generated about $4 billion in the export of spices, things like curry powder, red pepper, cinnamon, ginger, and other smaller spices. In Nigeria, we have so much spices rotten and wasted in our villages. But this is what India uses to generate over $4 billion annually. The biggest problem we have in Nigeria today is the abandonment of projects. Our leaders come up with wonderful agricultural ideas. They attempt to initiate these ideas. They make huge budgets. They initiate the projects. 1 or 2 years down the road, they abandon the project and move to something else. Development, real development, does not work this way. There has to be persistence and consistency. Let me give you some examples. A University of Agriculture can decide to run a massive chicken factory for export and can generate sufficient income that can run the university and run the entire state government. I will still give you some examples. We look at development as something that is so difficult to achieve. It is not. Development is common sense and planning. It is that common sense that we are lacking as a people. Among the first 15 top chicken exporters in the world, in 2020, Netherlands generated $1.4 billion in chicken exports. The question you want to ask yourself is this: what is the size of Netherlands? Netherlands is just 16,000 square miles. Belgium is 11,000 square miles. Denmark is 16,000 square miles. Adamawa State in Nigeria is 36,000 square kilometers, which is equivalent to 13,000 square miles. Adamawa is larger than Belgium. Yet Belgium is one of the highest chicken producers in the world, actually the second largest producer. Take a state like Bauchi. Bauchi is 45,000 square kilometers, Benue 34,000, Borno 70,000, Kaduna 46,000, Taraba 54,000 square kilometers. The question is, does the white man have two heads? Why can't we utilize our human and material resources and move our country forward? Our underdevelopment is not caused by any external factor. We are the primary cause of our underdevelopment. Take a country like Poland. With a very small land mass, Poland generates 1.2 billion in chicken exports. Germany generates $383 million in chicken exports. Belgium, $636 million. The total land mass of some countries are not even up to the size of a state like Borno. It is time our leadership sits up and look at what will take Nigeria to the next level. We have so much money to steal and to stash in foreign bank accounts, but we do not have money to complete simple projects and make them work. At a point, you start asking why we cannot break through in agriculture and generate foreign exchange. Is it the lack of skills? Is it the lack of labor? Definitely, it is not the lack of capital, because there is so much capital to steal. Nigeria's underdevelopment and poverty is the making of the ignorance and greed and selfishness of the Nigerian political elites, who conceptualize projects only to make political gain than genuine production for domestic and export markets. Only Nigerians can fix Nigeria. Now, in terms of agriculture contributing to GDP of African economies, it's because sometimes what I've done in the past, I try to generalize and talk about Africa, but I don't think that generalization is proper. The only success story we have in Africa today is Liberia and Somalia. Liberia, let's take an example of Liberia. Liberia is a typical example of an African success story. Under Salif Johnson, the former president, the Liberian government, through their ministry, initiated policies to rehabilitate and revitalize the nation's agricultural sector. Now, as at 2009, 42% of Liberia's GDP was generated from agriculture. Today it's about 62%. The question is, how many states in Nigeria can boast of a successful agricultural-based economy? Every state government in Nigeria sits idle and wait for federal allocation from Abuja, without which states are unable to pay salaries. Only Nigerians can fix Nigeria. No nation develops this way. Now, listen to me carefully while I conclude. The biggest factor to continued poverty, hunger, and the prevalence of disease in Nigeria is not the lack of land, or the lack of capital, or the lack of entrepreneurial spirit, or the absence of labor. Our biggest problem continues to be politics. The corruption and avarice of our political elites, irrespective of political parties, is directly responsible for our failure in nation building. Until we change our politics and move to proper development, change cannot come to Nigeria. I am Princewill Odidi. Visit my YouTube page, click on the subscribe button to get all my latest video. Join me in the Nigerian national conversation. Thank you very much.